Hey guys, TakuyaSugi here with some bad news for Korean Lost Saga. Um, tomorrow's Korean Lost Saga patch, they're going to be instituting a global IP block, which means foreign players such as myself aren't going to be able to enter the game normally. Anyone outside South Korea is going to be blocked from entering the game. And I'm sure everyone's going to tell me like there's ways around IP blocks, but I'll try and figure out a way around it. But who's to say even if I find a way around it, I won't be banned pretty quickly when entering the game. I always kept to myself. I never bothered the Korean players. I went to the HQ, but this was probably brought on by a lot of people playing with them and interrupting their experience, lagging them in their rooms. Grabs failing. Korean players are probably not used to grabs failing as we are in North America. We put up with a lot of crap, but they're not used to that as much as we are. So a lot of things work for them, whereas they don't work for the North American players or other versions as well. So yeah, really unfortunate that we're all getting IP blocked. But yeah, it's probably because the Korean players made their voices known that they're getting interrupted too much and they want an IP block, and the developers decided to listen. North American players always clamor for IP blocks for other countries, so it's not unreasonable that South Korean players would be the same pretty much. So yeah, I'll try and make videos, guys, but it's no guarantee. So this may end up being my final video. There are other resources, however. You don't always need me. There's always been Dawn. I've been the alternative to Dawn. And there's Rua here on YouTube. Isn't super active with her videos, but makes very excellent videos from time to time that are really awesome. Head and shoulders above what I do. Her Kim Yun Sun video is really excellent. There's also, the Naver search engine. You can search for Lost Saga on Naver and find videos by Korean players, whether it's battles or sometimes new characters. You can just go to Naver and look around here, and maybe you'll find something. You might want to get the Korean patch notes, which if there's an IP block, you can still get to the patch notes pretty easily, and manage to Google or Naver search for those characters on here and hopefully find some information. So yeah, unfortunate, guys, but it's understandable. I wish it wasn't being done, but it is, and I'll keep trying my best to make videos, but check out those other resources if I'm unable to. So going to end the video with kind of like a rolling review of all of the roster I have on Korean Lost Saga. So hopefully you enjoy this segment of the video, and hopefully I get to keep making videos for you guys in the future. So enjoy this little stuff here. So going to screw around a little bit on Korean Lost Saga on my potential final video for it here, guys. My final actual physical video of it. So we're going to go through my entire roster. This is going to be a long video. I'm going to discuss each and every character I have on my roster, and that'll be my goodbye to you guys, possibly. So Iljimai, his reform made him really awesome with the damage increases, the teleport being faster, the jump attacks having better hitbox. So Iljimai in the future is going to be really nice. Zhao Yun's got some nice stuff, a little bit more damage here and there, less delay in between in some attacks, and the basics a little bit better to work with, so good changes for him. Arcanist, this Arcanist character is really something special. I haven't played in a while, but the dash attack is really excellent, and he's got one of the easiest infinites in the game. It is a very practical infinite. It is very easy to do, especially in lag, because you won't get that second bounce up. Usually you'll just fall straight on the ground and be able to just loop that simple 1-2 really easy like this here. This is what the infinite's going to be. It's going to be just like that really easily on North America's version of Lost Saga and other laggy versions of Lost Saga. Titan is going to be an amazing character. I know a lot of people are excited for Titan, and for good reason. It's a really powerful character and really fun to work with. He has gap closers, excellent juggles. Hard to work with his juggles a little bit. You gotta really get the hang of the character, but his passive is just something special. It's really powerful character. So even if you miss a juggle, you'll be able to launch sometimes. So really good character. Scotty, not much to say about Scotty. You know, it's about the same on this server, I believe. So yeah, Scotty is what Scotty is. So Slasher is a really fun character as well. It's good for a lot of characters with damage shields like Gumiho Trinket and all that kind of stuff. And it is good for cure stripping and all that. He does have immense pressure and really good skills as well. You know, getting his fall damage skill is a little bit tricky, but you know, it's really nice. Other characters, let's see. We got Devil. The Devil will probably get on North America's version of Lost Saga. Won't be the reformed one, so it's not going to be as good as this. But the reform did make it really special. The passive is a lot more functional. The jump attacks are better. The hitboxes on most of his attacks are better. The speed's better. So overall, Devil is a lot better than what his initial incarnation was. Really good character there. So next up is Chun Rogue. We never got him on Korean or North America's version of Lost Saga, but you know, I always kind of wanted him. I always thought he had an interesting moveset that looked pretty fun to play with. Probably not the best moveset, but you know, it seemed fun to me. I mean, a lot of pressure, a lot of juggling capabilities, and the reform made him better on Korean Lost Saga with the jump canceling, the increased knockback on that, the better hitboxes, the better speed on the whole D. So yeah, nice stuff on Chun. Next up is Earth Mage. Earth Mage is something special, let me tell you what. Hopefully we get him eventually, but you know, he may drive some people crazy. He's going to be really good in team matches. You can see if you just spam this over and over in a team match, it's going to make it hell on an enemy team if you can stay safe enough to do this. Your teammates are really going to thank you if you're a good Earth Mage team player. And he has good solo capabilities, you know, with his dash attack, launching, relaunching off the ground even, so for some extra juggle. So he's a good character. Next up is Ragna. Ragna's reform made him really good. I always thought he was pretty okay with just his regular moveset. You know, I know a lot of people disagree, but I always thought he was okay. Eru's did pretty well on him. But they fixed a lot of major things like his air jump delay landing, and gave him an aimable air attack itself, which is, you know, a big deal because he's going to be able to mix up and launch off that and get a nice juggle going. And also his increased dasher speed, which is really going to help him, you know, do a couple more combos, a little bit more damage. So that's pretty nice itself. So Ragna's going to be really awesome, especially with his combo potential being increased, like the weapon skill hitting off grounded, which I just didn't do, but got some more stuff to do. Kim Yun-sun, you know, Kim Yun-sun, you can't say enough about Kim Yun-sun. He's going to be extremely fun to play as. You know, this jump attack system, his system overall is really impressive and fun to work with. He can jump cancel pretty much everything. I don't know why he's having troubles juggling FK there, but it is what it is. And you know, he's just going to be masterful at edging, masterful at juggling. And you know, I may have never done that passive expenditure move in my video here, so I'm going to try and do it now. So maybe build up that passive knockback a little bit, get a little more knockback off it. So I didn't mention that in my video for him, but it's really cool to work with if you get that long knockback off using your passive a lot with the block attack in the air. So on to the next one, Maid. Maid is going to be really good. I didn't cover the reform, unfortunately, but you know, I believe the main key point was that the weapon skill was nerfed. They may have changed some good things about him, but you know, I don't remember the notes. I didn't cover it. But yeah, Maid's still going to be really excellent for the sweeping, for the nice hitbox on attacks, for the nice pressure, for the really good jump attack that's good pressure. So yeah, he's going to be a really good character. It's going to be really fun to play as Maid. Hakumen is next. Hakumen, I'm going to really enjoy playing Hakumen. This is one of my favorite characters in BlazBlue. I mained him in BlazBlue. I'm looking forward to maining him in Lost Saga as well. So you know, Hakumen has a really great amount of things about him that make him special. His juggles are heavily damaging. Probably shouldn't start with the basics. The basics are a little bit hard to catch on his juggles sometimes, but you know, it's okay. So you know, you make sure you learn how to do this air dashing stuff if you're going to main him. A lot of people might use him just to do the ground hit, though. The ground hit is really excellent on a Hakumen. It's really great for edging, and you can loop it a couple times if you're quick, but you know, DevK doesn't seem to want to work with me. But yeah, really good for edging, really, really good. And of course his counterattack is what I'm looking forward to the most. I'm not going to go to the robots and test it, but it's what I'm looking forward to. So next is Alpha, aka Time Space. Time Space is a really interesting character. Doesn't have the best gears, but has really, really interesting attacks. His whole D passive freezing, allowing you to switch to like a guard breaker character. You know, it's going to be a really excellent character, especially for juggling with his passive. It's going to be really, really nice. Especially the basic attack launching behind you is going to be fun. It's going to be a really, really fun character, especially with the air dash and all kinds of good stuff on him. Really, really fun. Who's next? Who's next? Pirate. Pirate's Reform. So Pirate's Reform did quite a bit to help him. You know, his jump attack mainly is the main highlight of this one. You know, being able to work with that and potentially set up a juggle off of just, you know, doing a simple jump attack bounce down. That's really fun. It's really fun. That's going to be really fun to play as a pirate, so really cool. So next is St. Michael. St. Michael actually got a reform. I know you guys are probably expecting something you already know as North American players. But yeah, it got a reform, and the reform did a couple things, but you know, it's very vague, the notes, so that's why I never covered it. It said the basic range on the dash it was adjusted, the whole D range was adjusted, the passive recharge rate, the damage on the first basic, and the hitbox behind the jumper as well was adjusted. So I don't know what was nerfed and what may have been buffed, but you know, I think the damage was a little bit buffed right here. I'm not sure about the dasher. I'm not sure about that. I'm assuming the whole D was probably nerfed because it's pretty OP if it works. You know, that's why I didn't cover it. Sometimes I don't cover character reforms like Michael's because you know, at first glance when you actually use him, none of this stuff really seems that apparent. So it's really hard to tell on some things, especially if you're not very familiar with the character. So even after I played it on North America's version of Lost Saga, I can't really tell what changed all that much. So that's why I never covered it. But, you know, Michael's reform probably did help it a little bit. Flash, now here's one you guys are probably looking forward to. This is going to be a really excellent character. If you're not a fan of big-time jumping characters like Staffmaster, Flash can chase those down with his passive and stun them for a chance to, you know, juggle them or whatever. You know, you have to press your buttons after you stun someone. That launches them to there, because if you just tap it, you know, it's going to get that mini shock on them. But if you keep tapping, bam, you get a nice launcher out of it, and that's guaranteed as well, so it's really nice. You know, Flash does have a lot of amazing things about him. He's very quick and very, very nice for chasing people down with the passive mostly. So that's really, really cool. Really, really cool passive. Who else we got? Who else? So Psychic, ooh, Psychic is fun. So Psychic did get a reform. I didn't really cover it, and I didn't hardly bother. I don't even remember the notes at this point, but I do believe the passive got nerfed a little bit. It seems to trigger a little bit later, and it seems a little bit less useful in some ways. I don't know what went on with the passive exactly, but it seems like it did kind of take a hit with whatever they reformed. But it's still okay. It's still a good character for a lot of neat different reasons. He can juggle pretty well and pressure pretty well, and has some nice stuff about him. It's pretty good. He can edge really well with his passive as well from a distance, so it's pretty nice. So who's next? Who's next? So next up is Yuri. Yuri has received some significant nerfs on Korean Lost Saga, you know, with his input nerfs. Like, all characters got input nerfs, but he especially feels it because he can only do so many of his inputs back to back, up to 15, which means he can't carry you across the map to edge you, which is probably a relief to a lot of people. And one of his major nerfs is his grab nerf. His grab nerf, it will still stun on standing, but as you can see there, when I grab him off a launcher, it just slides him on the ground and he gets up right away. So there's no opportunity for me to follow up with Yuri ground juggles. There's no opportunity to follow up with my hits like so many people have become accustomed to with my Shirano Nui. So yeah, Yuri has significant nerfs pretty much with new season changes here. So yeah, shame. Next we have Musketeer. I know sudden attack is pretty much caught on as the go-to range character, but you know I still feel Musketeer after his reform, his re-reform, has a place in Lost Saga. The piercing effect he gets from his bullets now is really nice, and his increased reload speed. I believe he does get increased reload. You can see the blue shot is going to be really good for team fights, especially if, like, you know, if you're playing a Musketeer, chances are you're letting your teammate get double teamed. If you blue shot now, you're going to have a better chance of piercing through that and hitting multiple people who may be double teaming your teammates. So that's one big nice bonus there, so that's pretty good. Who's next? Who's next? Who do we got? Who do we got left? Not many left now. Infantrymen. Infantryman is one of the people who were hit kind of hard by nerfs. You know, the damage on his shots is pretty reduced now. This is because of a lot of different factors, such as Nubis armor, slasher trinket or helmet or whichever it is, Pharaoh armor, you name it. Anyone who would swap to an infantryman to do a little extra damage brought on this nerf for the poor guy. But for a bonus for him, he does shoot a little faster. You know, I don't remember what else exactly he gets off of that, but he does shoot a little faster, and that's the main thing I remember. So that's a nice little change to improve his damage and speed. So not too bad there. Let's see, do we got anything else left that I missed? No need to cover D'Artagnan or Monk. I don't think they've gotten anything new, or Gumiho. Doopy, and that looks like about it, guys. So this is probably my farewell video. If I can't do videos past the IP block, you know, there's so much good stuff on here that I wish I could have went over before I get IP blocked. You know, there's a lot of great changes. Jin gets a nice change. Sudden attack is awesome. Beyblade has some fun combos. Eevee is super powerful. Windrunner's nice. I wish I could have covered Windrunner's reform. So Bad Guys reform, I don't know what went on with that, but it seemed pretty nice with the feints in the air. So yeah, that's about it, guys. Thank you for all this time you've put up with me doing Korean Lost Saga videos and all your support. And hopefully we will see you next video for Korean Lost Saga. So see you next time, guys.